We also saw him face off earlier against B-Rad, the minor god, and Razzle Dazzle, another player who had advanced from the open qualifier period. So Trainer Chris up on top, Diego B on bottom. As players reach 10 elixir, Diego B will cycle through an Ice Spirit, and Trainer Chris has got a Goblin Hut set up here in the center going left lane to get a little bit of chip damage in there. Poison from Diego B signals that he does not want to have to deal with that hut for very long. Earns a couple hundred damage out the left lane, but it's split up now.
Look how strong, though, that Goblin Hut is. Even though Poison does work at hitting a lot of those Spear Goblins, that Goblin Hut still had a lot of health afterwards.
Yeah. We see Trainer Chris signaling that he might have a Fireball bait deck or a Poison bait deck, just trying to keep those mid-range spells out of his opponent's hand and taking advantage of that by playing things like Zappies or perhaps even Flying Machine, another really popular card.
Yeah,
there it is, right behind the right side tower. Here to deal with the Ice Spirit and the Mega Minion floating on in for the counterattack on the right side.
Flying Machine is so hard to deal with. It's obviously immune to any ground-only troops, but with its long range, it normally gets the first shot on anything that would come to fight it, and it has just enough health that it's not going to die to arrows or zap. You're going to have to Fireball or Poison it. The advantage of Trainer Chris's deck is he has a bunch of cards you really need to Poison and Fireball. The Goblin Hut, you can't just let him sit up and build 2-3 Goblin Huts against you. Zappies are impossible to attack into, and Flying Machine is such a deadly two-way card. It's great on defense, and then its long range allows it to get chip damage onto your tower. So you have to figure out where you're going to use your poisons and logs really judiciously, because if you just start throwing them out, you're going to lose that game.
That's right, you are playing against a very defensive deck, but P.E.K.K.A works really well at shutting these pushes down, finding that Royal Ghost and taking down the Zappies with it. Now, fortunately for Diego B, that Flying Machine is also within tower range, so even though the P.E.K.K.A is going awfully low, it did its job on defense and will now go in for a little bit of a counterattack, bolstered by a Graveyard in the back right corner.
And another Poison comes down, working on that fresh Goblin Hut. And if Diego B's a little lucky, the Zappies might even walk into the path and get killed as well. They are going to trace along the side, taking a little bit of damage. Zappies have enough damage that it really takes a Poison or Fireball to kill them, but they do have a low enough damage that things like Zap and Log are very effective.
Ice Golem to block this Royal Ghost out the right side, and that's a great trade on defense for Diego B, hardly taking any damage at all, while Trainer Chris down to 1251 is in an awfully awkward position here now. Poison on the back end as Diego B chooses to go for the Goblin Hut instead of taking down that Flying Machine.
Oh, wow! Great technical play by Diego B. The Ice Spirit and then the Log allow those Zappies to go down. Musketeer survives, forcing Trainer Chris to drop 3 more elixir on a Royal Ghost and letting Diego B set up another excellent defense. He's going to set up for a counterattack and probably go for another Graveyard here because he knows he has the elixir advantage right now.
That was a glorious defense from Diego B, and with plenty of defensive troops marching back on in, the Mega Minion and the Musketeer are going to get supported by an Ice Spirit. Looked like it could have been a Graveyard hit there. But Trainer Chris with the Flying Machine on defense will instead be able to repel Diego B this time. Diego B ahead by 1,000 hit points on this right lane, though. Looks to be positioned very well to go into the long game here as Diego B gets a little bit more chip damage over there with the Miner.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, tower health, it's a resource like anything else. So when you get into overtime like this and the next tower to go down is going to matter, Diego B is in a position where he can trade damage. You take 400, I'll take 400. I'll be left with over 1,000, and you're just 2 fireballs away from death. So it's going to be really important for Trainer Chris to defend, not take a lot of damage. It's going to be hard to do that against Poison, but basically Trainer Chris can't afford to trade eye for an eye at this point.
Exactly. Trainer Chris really needs to leverage the Poison that just got played by Diego B. He's going for it right now. Flying Machine out the right side is just outside of tower range. We got Zappy stacked on top. Could get a lot of work done in there, but the Mega Minion has already swatted down the Flying Machine, and it looks like this push is dead on arrival. Musketeer getting massive value on defense, supporting this right side tower, which is still quite healthy at 1550 above half hit points. Right side Graveyard is getting chipped down by the Poison, but in the meantime, the Skeletons have been able to get a few stabs in there. Tower now down to 251 is within spell range.
Yes, there it is. First Poison, now he needs a Log to finish it off, and Diego B is going to continue his win streak, going up 1-0 over Trainer Chris.
Executes lethal, and he is now up 1-0 over his Nova Eastern
combinations.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of time to look back through the most popular decks in the meta to realize that there's so many different variations on even the most popular archetypes.
Yes, absolutely.
So Trainer Chris and Diego B have to study so many different interactions to know exactly how the 8 cards that they play with could interact with any of the other 80+ cards in the game. An aggressive Expo on the left.
He's saying oops. Maybe that was an accident, or he wasn't exactly sure, just thought to go for it. The Ice Golem is going to tank for it, and the Musketeer is going to finish it off. That is 6 Elixir countering, well, I guess 6 of Trainer Chris as well, so pretty even trade, not too bad.
Logs sandwich that poor Musketeer in the center of the arena there. Trainer Chris making sure that he doesn't take a shot from the Musketeer out the left lane. I think that the oops might have been that he played the Expo 1 tile further forward than he needed to, but it doesn't really matter. A ranged attacker on defense, Diego B's Musketeer is able to take that out from afar.
That matters a lot more against cards like Giant.
Yes.
That move very slowly.
And P.E.K.K.A.
So, yeah, the extra tile can really buy you a lot of time. Expo comes down. P.E.K.K.A.'s in front of the tower now. We've got the classic Expo versus tanks thing going on here. So Tesla Tower is down. Musketeer is going to provide supporting fire while the P.E.K.K.A. just absorbs all of these hits. And before the Ice Golem comes down, there is a good lock on there by the Musketeer onto the Tesla Towers.
Get the P.E.K.K.A. hit on the Expo.
That's
yes.
it. Log has already been used, so this Musketeer is going to draw a little bit more defense. Ice Spirit has to come down. That's one of the best counters to a Musketeer, even a full health Musketeer. You use an Ice Spirit, Musketeer shoots it once, doesn't kill it. Ice Spirit jumps, freezes. The Musketeer is only going to get 1 shot on your tower, but that is a +3 positive elixir trade. That's pretty good.
Honestly, really sick, yeah.
Yeah. And
Come
if
on,
you remember,
Ice Spirit hit points already.
and
Goodness
the same
gracious.
is true of skeletons. You put the 3-cost skeletons at the Musketeer, she'll get like 1 shot on the tower, but that's a +3 positive elixir trade. That's pretty good. In a game of resource management, that's a great way to get ahead of your opponent.
Diego B sits at 10 elixir for a little while here, but he will be able to block this Expo going down the left lane. You're going to Ice Golem to do the work there. P.E.K.K.A. coming in on the backside. Now there is a Tesla setup from Trainer Chris to try to get some work done on this P.E.K.K.A., but she has plenty of hit points, trying to soak as much as she possibly can. Diego B rolls a log through, but misses the Ice Spirit. This is going to be a dangerous position here. Diego B might need to add on a little bit more if he wants to get some work done from this P.E.K.K.A. out the left lane.
Remember, we saw Surgical Goblin beat an Expo deck earlier, and one of the things that stood out to me was how willing he was, and it was granted it was a Giant deck, but how willing he was to just like, whatever lane you're playing your Expo in, I'm going to poison it, and that's fine, right? Like, and if we go to a full 6-minute game, I'll poison it all out, but oh no!
Log knocks back that P.E.K.K.A., and that means a lock for the Expo at the right side. Finally, a little bit of a chance for Trainer Chris to turn this damage around. 500 damage on the right side tower. Diego B could have taken a lot more there, but managed to get just enough work done to prevent it. Tesla out the left lane to soak damage for this Expo and try to get through this Ice Golem Muskie combo. But great poison by Diego B. Takes down the archers. Not quite enough, though, with the lock by the Expo. Trainer Chris moves ahead in the damage race.
That was Trainer Chris, though, using his advantage. Before that Expo was played, Trainer Chris was 2 elixir ahead, 7-5. Drops the Expo, and they had a little skirmish. After that, now Diego B is 2 elixir ahead. So it's his turn to counterattack, counterpunch, and try to push this damage through.
Archers out back to deal with the graveyard. Great defense here, but getting poisoned down means that they won't survive much longer. Skeletons having a difficulty connecting, though, with that Tesla on defense. Diego B just a little bit behind Trainer Chris right now. The Expo versus Graveyard matchup going in TC's favor right now. Nova Esports just 900 damage for victory, and that's it! The Expo lock is good. No freeze on that Expo, and that is it. Trainer Chris has sealed the deal, and with only 1 more tiny little log rolling down the right lane, we'll be able to get the win. Congratulations, that's a 1-1 draw now between our Nova Esports veteran and the team. Was the like 47-foot snake bike.
Yeah, we saw a snake on a bike. Yeah, it was a 5-person tandem bike snake with a rattler at the end.
Yep.
And like a
little
ventriloquial body.
all throughout it.
Yeah. It's just going down 6th Street. So here we are, the best of 3, the final game. Diego B laughing, and then saw Trainer Chris wasn't laughing and just straightened up. Like, oh, no, not funny, not funny. They're both waiting here. I would assume they're both playing double elixir decks. Like, for example, if they were either playing Expo, they would have cycled something by now, because Expo really wants to take that tower down in single elixir, then wait. So I would assume that we're looking at maybe Lava Hound, looking at Golems. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely looking at 2 heavy decks here. Of course, we don't have an idea of exactly what they are, but both.
Can I call it? Can I call it?
Go for it.
Trainer Chris is playing Lava Loon, Diego B is playing 3 Musketeers.
All right, we've got it down, ready to go. Give it a little wave to the camera here. Now, there's a good reason to wait in the first couple of minutes if you think that you have the heavier deck, because basically you're saying, you know, I want to play in double elixir time. That's the time when I'm really going to be able to shine. It's a bit of a gamut, though, because you don't necessarily know what your opponent has. So if you feel like you've got the hard counter, this can work for the first couple of minutes. If you feel like you're going to, you know, be in a difficult spot in that double elixir time, you really do need to take advantage at the first couple of minutes of gameplay here. Given a couple of emotes to each other, though, they're studying their hands, seeing what their first card ought to be. Once double Lich time starts, though, there's
there's things that are coming fast and furious. I would expect the first card to be played at like 102, 103. No, Trainer Chris can't wait that long. Here comes Flying Machine up against Diego B's Mega Minion. Now that poison is going to kill Flying Machine, but if he can do enough damage to the Mega Minion, then the Mega Minion will itself not be a threat.
All right, just barely misses out on the kill there. Flying Machine will get one pop shot on the right side tower. And
nice, double Prince comes down. That's 9 Elixir in the left lane, very hard to deal with, but guards are going to come down. Dark Prince can clear out the guards kind of quickly, but with Tombstone right behind, it's going to be a tough one.
Wow, that log! Oh my god, left side Prince charge is looking awfully good. Manages to connect to the tower twice and stabs it down to 1884. Diego B with a clutch defense out the right side as well is looking awfully dominant right now. Unfortunately for him, though, going to lose this Mega Minion out back, which he needed to get rid of the pups. This Baby Dragon dealing damage against this Flying Machine. Looks like it's got the job done here, but Trainer Chris has been able to tie up the damage race. His left side about as much damage as Diego B's right side. But you were right, we do have a lot of hounds.
I called Trainer Chris right, I got Diego B wrong. Yeah.
But a double Prince Golem combo, and this looks like it's going to be a tower trade. We got about 20 seconds left. It actually might wind up being a base race. Players trying to get this
crown base
tower down.
race.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to stop either of these pushes. They will eventually tear the tower down. It's just a question of whether or not this is going to be something that goes for a 3-crown or not.
Because he used a lot of distraction troops. It looks like it's not going to happen.
No way.
This is going
to be a
in favor of Diego B.
race.
This is a crazy big push. The double Princes do so much more damage so quickly than the Lava Hound.
Balloon
And it looks like Diego B's going to do it.
No way Diego B can hold that right side as much as Trainer Chris is taking damage. But 184 is it. He's done it. Diego B advancing to the finals. Team Queso representative has knocked out Trainer Chris from Nova Esports. Nova still has a representative at the bottom of the bracket with Asuchini, but Queso will be going on to the finals.
And I know that Nova is so proud of their representative as the first finalist looking to win the first ever South